naval veteran of the Vietnam era, served on the USS Forrestal with John McCain. Dan Steele.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We don't do authors most of the time. And there are several reasons for it, one of which is that our segments are only 4 minutes long, and it's hard to do an author justice for his book to do author interviews. However, I got one a few months ago, and the thing that jumped off the page at me was this particular author was offering and donating all of the proceeds from his book to the USO. And I thought, wow. A.J. Tata graduated, ladies and gentlemen, from the United States Military Academy in 1981. He currently serves as a brigadier general in the U.S. Army. He's commanded a paratrooper battalion in the 82nd Airborne Division and an air assault brigade in the same brigade that my father served in World War II, the 101st Airborne Division. Most recently, General Tata was the Deputy Commanding General of the 10th Mountain Division in Combined Joint Task Force 76 in Afghanistan. Brigadier General Tata has deployed on combat missions and operations in Afghanistan, Kosovo, Macedonia, Bosnia, Panama, and the Philippines. He has been awarded the Combat Action Badge and the Bronze Star. He's a master parachutist. He's a graduate of the U.S. Army's Ranger School. Tony served as a National Security Fellow at Harvard University's JFK School of Government. He's a Master's in International Relations from the Catholic University of America. He's married, currently lives in Alexandria, Virginia, and he drove here this morning from there. Please welcome to our keynote speaker, General A.J. Tony Tata.
You know, as I was getting ready today, I was walking down the street this morning in this beautiful city, and someone said, hi, how you doing today? And my immediate response was, hey, I'm not getting shot at, I'm doing pretty good. And you know why we're not getting shot at? Because we're fighting this enemy on his 5-yard line, not our 5-yard line. As a soldier and a combat veteran, I want to thank all of you out here right now for your support. You don't know how good it makes me feel to see you standing here knowing that you care. And that's all any soldier, Marine, Airman, Sailor, Coast Guardsman, DOD civilian, that's all anybody wants to hear is that you care. We don't ask for much, and your presence here says volumes to me that you do care. As we're coming into land, a 3-sided Taliban ambush opens up, shoots up the helicopter, engine catches on fire, we bail out, helicopter pulls up, the Apache that's covering us begins to suppress the enemy. A soldier takes a round, an enemy AK or PKM round, right through his arm. He's bleeding. He is the mortar ballistic computer guy. And so for those of you who know, you got it. For those of you who don't, he's the one that takes the radio call from the forward observer and inputs it into a small computer to make sure that the mortar, the best weapon at this little outpost, can accurately fire on the enemy. This sergeant ties off his own tourniquet with his teeth. His arm is dangling from the elbow. He's got a radio in his ear. He's taking the call and he's punching in the Brig coordinates that the forward observer is calling. Machine gun rounds are punching through the roof of this bunker like hail coming down on you. And I'm standing there making a phone call of my own back to the rear, trying to get Air Force and more Apaches, because it was a pretty serious firefight. And I watched the medic come over to this sergeant, and the medic says, hey, Sarge, you're going into shock. And the sergeant says, get away from me. It was more colorful than that, but this is a family event. and the medic walks back, and he starts to shake, the sergeant does, and then the medic comes back over, and the sergeant looks at him before he even gets close and says, "You can work on me when we get first round down range." Meanwhile, blood's dripping on the floor, he's taking the radio call, he's punching in the digits, and you hear the thunk of the mortar go off right outside the bunker. He pushes his ballistic computer across to his assistant, turns to the medic, and says, "Now you can work on me." Sergeant Viles is his name. He was in Walter Reed Army Medical Center for 3 months getting reconstructive surgery on his arm. His brigade got extended in Afghanistan. What do you think this young sergeant did when he was released from the hospital? You're daggone right. He went back and rejoined his men in that outpost where he got shot, because that's the kind of soldiers we've got fighting for us today. An elderly gentleman came up to me and he said, "You know, I'm really worried about this generation today." I said, "Hey, wild man, you can worry about the world, but you don't need to worry about this generation today. Every young man or woman that's in the Army, Marines, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard today has enlisted knowing they're going to combat. Thank you so much for being here today. God bless all of you, and God bless America."